Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum. I am your host Faisal Raza Khan and you are watching Foresight. Viewers, Indian Ocean is home to 36 countries, 35% of the population and 40% of the world's coastline. Region is center of the global commerce as nearly 100,000 ships transit this ocean annually. 30% of the container cargo, 40% of the global crude oil, 20% of the world refineries are here. Pakistan's 95% of the trade is going through these routes. So, peace and stability is inevitable in Indian Ocean. Pakistan's inspiring journey for greater regional harmony, cooperation and collaborative peace is the hope for entire maritime community. And it is not limited to the region, but also globally. This voyage set sail through Exercise AMAN in 2007 with 28 nations on board. And the message was very clear, the motto, that was together for peace. Pakistan is now cruising with almost or nearly 60 countries for the clear objective, together for prosperity. Viewers, as you are all well aware of, that Pakistan Navy is organizing the 9th biennial edition of AMAN 2025 from February 7th to 11th this year, with participation of more than 90 observers and more than or over 55 countries. Interesting feature of AMAN 2025 is the first ever international AMAN Dialogue. Along with that, PIMEC, Pakistan International Maritime Expo and Conference. That is also the feature of this AMAN 2025. We will talk in length the interesting and very important aspects of this significance of this AMAN 2025 this year particularly, because Pakistan is again going to make a history, particularly in maritime domain. When it comes to blue economy, the traditional and non-traditional threats, there are lots of other significance what the Indian Ocean has for Pakistan, for the region and for the entire globe. To discuss this very important aspect, we have stalwarts from Pakistan Navy. First of all, Vice Admiral retired Ahmed Saeed. He is the President of National Institute of Maritime Affairs, NEMA. Most welcome to you. Thank you very much for your presence here. And with him, Rear Admiral retired Fawad Amin Beg. He has ample experience when it comes to maritime, so he is a maritime security expert. Most welcome to you. Thank you very much for your presence. And online, we will be having joining us Captain Saghir Ahmed. He is the Maritime Affairs Analyst. Most welcome to you, sir. Thank you very much for sparing time. First question to you, Admiral sir. Pakistan is no doubt the proponent of peace in the world. That's why Pakistan is the part of UN peacekeeping missions. UN mandated combined maritime task forces 150 and 151. And interestingly, Pakistan recently, 11th time, assumed the command of CTF 151 and already done CTF 150 and handed over command to the New Zealand Navy. So, always engaged in peace initiatives. So when it comes to the bilateral, regional exercises, even international exercise. So how international venture like AMAN supplementing such peace and stability efforts across the region and globally?
Thank you very much for a very comprehensive intro towards the AMAN. I think first, if we understand the genesis of AMAN in itself, so AMAN, in my view, is a state of equilibrium between conflicting forces. So this state of equilibrium has to be maintained through certain dialogue, seeing each other, meeting each other, and that can be done through effective maritime diplomacy. So Pakistan being one of the major player of this region, we started off with this effort, as you said, in 2007, and gradually now this entire process has matured to a level, but now over 60 countries are participating along with the 120 delegates. So this is proof of our trust that it is reposed by the maritime nations that this country can provide a platform, not only platform, but it can generate a kind of momentum in which we can sit together, see the future challenges, the existing challenges, and provide a comfortable area or zone in which they all can be debated, and we can devise certain SOPs, policy domain, we can have certain changes, as well as we can generate some a kind of SOPs if it is required, or maybe some calibration of SOPs. So this is the main crux of Exercise AMAN.
Your point well taken. Real for us, AMAN extends a platform to all responsible nations to have maximum inputs and get ample output. When it comes to the sea and the harbor phases, the exercise, the dialogue, all others, what significant AMAN25 has to offer through the dialogue particularly regarding non-traditional threats, including the piracy, the terrorism, illegal fishing or overfishing, narco trafficking, smuggling and other maritime crimes. So how do you see particularly?
Okay, so thank you. I think AMAN Dialogue is a very useful addition to the AMAN elements that we've seen over the years. What AMAN Dialogue does is to provide a platform to diverse leadership, and we have leadership from East, West, all the regional countries and extra-regional countries coming together on a common platform. What they do is they analyze the environment, and from the environment they see the challenges and the opportunities. As we know, seas are the global commons. This is an area where humanity can collaborate, but this is also an area where there is competition, and this competition leads to friction and cross purposes in policies. The idea of AMAN Dialogue is to provide a platform where we analyze the environment, look at the existing order, look at the existing policies, look at the existing practices, point out the weaknesses in the existing policies, and come up through a discussion with collaborative ideas and policies that would be acceptable to all. So in that unique platform, you would have diversity of leadership and all getting together and actually, coming up with ideas that provide a synergy in terms of, response in maritime environment, capitalizing on the opportunities that we have.
Your point well taken. Would you like to add something on that?
Yeah, a little more. I think very comprehensively covered by the Admiral. As the AMAN Dialogue is first time being undertaken this event, so National Institute of Maritime Affairs have been entrusted to conduct this. So one of the key element is that in dialogue, first I would like to apprise you that the exhibition and the conference.
Yes, that is the separate thing.
That has been
definitely
detached, and although it is part of AMAN, but they will be conducted towards the end of the year.
By the way, in detail, I have a question, so we'll move on that. But particularly, I want to ask here, it is important in the context of this platform, AMAN, that is, what can Pakistan actually achieve through AMAN in the broader context of a blue economy, the maritime, the economic diplomacy, what you were earlier referring to, when more than 95% of Pakistan's trade is through sea, approximately 9.4 billion tons of cargo transported through the Indian Ocean annually. Over 90,000 vessels or nearly 100,000 vessels are actually transiting through. So the destinations are Africa, Asia, Europe, with you definitely know better than me that Strait of Malacca, Strait of Hormuz, you have Bab el-Mandab. These are the important points and the choke points as well. So in that particular framework, what is the critical role of AMAN to have lots of states together, to have peace and stability, to have smooth trade and economy?
We divide it into two parts. First is why the AMAN Dialogue? Why not the conference? For the reasons that conferences are normally more tilted towards the academia, whereas dialogue is more tilted toward the practitioners.
Well said.
And that is the reasons head of the chiefs of the navies and head of the coast guards and maritime related agencies, they are coming up. And that is the reason for the reason that they will speak up their problems which they are facing at the sea. Number one. Number two, what they envisage, that what is coming up, the challenges which they see, those will also be put across. So dialogue is a closed loop cycle in which towards the end, we will have the actionable recommendations. Those actionable recommendations will also resonate towards the end once we will have the conference as well as the maritime industry. So maritime industry is to run those ideas and come up with the technological solutions, whereas the other two areas, which is the policy as well as the calibration of the SOPs, that is done at this level. So these are, and towards the end, once we come back again in 2027, again a resume of what we had agreed to scale during these 2 years, that will be represented. So how much progress we have made and what next we are supposed to do. So this is how this cycle is a very productive cycle. So coming back to the importance of the Indian Ocean, as you have already alluded to, this is the, I would say the main pivot point for connecting East and West. So all the trade, it is going through the Indian Ocean. So in coming days, of course, as the seas are being more industrialized now, so along with that, new challenges are coming up. So along with that, we need to gear up more now. So in that particular area, in that particular context, Pakistan being one of the very important figure of this area as a maritime nation, we have a very, very important role to play. That is to say, starting from as in the CMF 151 and 150, we have played a very positive role, as still we are playing. So these kind of collaborative mechanisms have to be generated more and more. And recently, I think the 4 or 5 years back, Pakistan had started its own regional maritime patrols as well, RMSPs. So that is another area, I think, in the times to come, this area will also mature, and we see a lot of other countries to join us in this collaborative mechanisms to provide safety and security at sea. But now another dimension has been added, that is sustainability also, which is related to the environmental security.
Definitely, definitely. Your point well taken. Captain Saghir Sahab, how does Pakistan Navy manage to align this collective and diverse naval strategies and operational practices during such a large-scale exercise, especially when we are talking about, when theme is to enhance interoperability, collaboration and cooperation with the regional and extra-regional navies to attain basically the AMAN objectives?
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. First of all, the most important thing that I want to flag here or highlight here is that Pakistan Navy's stature as far as the maritime area or maritime zone is concerned is quite well reputed and well respected amongst community of nations. This is the stature that is a testament of Pakistan's participation in number of unilateral, multilateral and other forums which are mostly maritime related. One must be IONS. Pakistan has been commanding the CTFs. That's also one of the unique representation of Pakistan. And with that comes the stature that we are ourselves able to hold this great exercise. This is not only the amalgamation or mixing up of platforms at sea, This is also a testament of Pakistan Navy's capability of hosting such a large gathering of ships, as well as different kind of forces. That there are elements of special operation forces, there are anti-terrorist operations. So there is a amalgamation of huge scope as far as interacting with these international navies is concerned, and Pakistan is capable of managing all these operations. And I may like to flag one more thing, is that this is the ninth session of AMAN. So it is a testament of long-standing Pakistan's commitment towards acting as a responsible state, one, and Pakistan Navy's role in terms of maintaining peace and order in the region. So these few of the assertions might highlight you that Pakistan Navy is well capable to deal with all multifarious challenges that are there. It is alive to those. And also it has the capability of holding a multinational forum like.
Captain Zakir, your point well taken. What's the core reason behind the rapidly growing global participation in AMAN exercise? As initially 28 countries and 28 nations were on board when it comes to the first ever AMAN exercise back in 2007, and now it's almost 60 countries. It is because of the trust by the international community in Pakistan, or Pakistan Navy's tireless efforts, actually contributions in advancing long-term collaborative peace at sea, and how this actually growing trust in Pakistan and Pakistan Navy must be translated into the result-oriented economic partnership with the participating nations.
Yeah, thank you. As you already know that Pakistan is a maritime nation. So that word maritime is not just a symbolic attachment with Pakistan, but it has got a lot of meanings to it. It has got a Pakistan Navy's role embedded into extending our relationship with a host of countries. This is one element. Number two, with Pakistan Navy's active participation in number of platforms and forums, all at maritime stages, Pakistan has been a very professional force, and I personally, being a member of the one, take pride in having the professionalism as core trait of my job. So with that professionalism, we conduct all these exercises. That also to say that there are a number of tactical procedures that we undertake, there are a number of exercises and measures that we undertake, there are coordinations and communications, and Pakistan also has by now a reputed NATO standard tactical procedure framework, which embeds well into all those nations which are willing to join hands in collaborative maritime security and combating all the non-traditional threats. So that is probably, in my reckoning, the reason why from a humble start from 2007 onwards, now more than 60 nations are participating in terms of their ships, their aircraft, as well as observers and other special specific forces. So that is to say that Pakistan Navy remains alive to this challenges that
Your point well taken. Your point well taken, Captain Zakir Sahab. Rear Admiral Fawaz Sahab, how much significant and historic it is when after more than 12 years, the Bangladeshi Navy fully participating in AMAN exercise with their warship already on course towards Pakistan, BNS Samudra Joy, and their naval chief is also visiting Pakistan to attend the AMAN Dialogue as well. So, is it the first ever AMAN Dialogue in which the Dhaka is participating fully, and also the AMAN exercise? So how do you see that the growing trust of the Bangladesh, including their leadership in Pakistan, just their army leadership also visited Pakistan. They are entrusting in having the JF-17 Thunder from Pakistan. Now their naval chief is coming too. How do you see the collaboration between Pakistan and Bangladesh? It is going to be the historic AMAN.
Yes, I think it's a phenomenal development. I think participation of Bangladesh sends a clear message of the kind of bilateral relations that we enjoy, both as nations as well as the two navies. We have a history of collaboration earlier as well, but this significant participation in AMAN actually is going to be a feather in this collaboration, and will be significantly a point of launch for greater initiatives between the two navies. And I see this opportunity for the leadership of the two naval forces to sit together and carve out the opportunities for the future. I think that's very significant. You know, whenever any nation sends a naval platform to an exercise, it's a big message. It's not just a naval initiative, it's actually a foreign policy indicator as well. So I see it as a very positive development, and I'm very hopeful that with this, you will see an era of much closer cooperation between Pakistan and Bangladesh navies. And I think it's also a message to the region as a whole as to how Pakistan is figuring out as one of the main players in regional peace, especially in the maritime domain.
I have seen hopes and lots of jubilation at your face, really, when it comes to Bangladesh, really. Vice Admiral Ahmed Saeed Saab, how regional navies, when we are talking about Bangladesh, we are talking about Sri Lanka, or lots of other countries, presence in AMAN 2025 will help actually foster peace and stability in Indian Ocean, which is the paramount message of, and obviously everyone wants peace and stability to grow. Whether through the principle of peaceful coexistence would be realized as what we are calling the region-centric maritime security. Do you think that that is going to be realized in the Indian Ocean as Pakistan wants to have the peaceful coexistence, but India is actually negating this propagation, and time and again through its hegemonic designs, through destructive nature, thinking and plans and all that. So how do you see overall, because most of the times they are calling Indian Ocean as India's ocean. So what do you think about the regional collaborations and collaborative peace, what we are propagating?
I think first you have rightly alluded to that challenges and the issues of region has to be region approach wise.
Definitely.
The countries, those who are linked with that, they have to own it and they have to guide the other nations what to do.
Yes.
So in that perspective, AMAN is the best platform. So that is the reasons you find a lot of regional countries, not only Bangladesh, not only the Sri Lanka, not only the Maldives. A lot of this time there is another change which you will be seeing, that is about the African nations. They are coming in good number. So this is one, as already said, is the trust. One is already said about the professionalism which Pakistan Navy possesses. Third is our geostrategic location. So that is very important. So they all see what is coming up. So this is an era of which I think is not isolation, it is collaboration, it is cooperation, and it is connectivity.
Definitely, you are absolutely right, because no single country can adhere a huge responsibility of peace and stability in respective areas, particularly in Indian Ocean. You are absolutely right. Captain Saghir Saab, as we all know that maritime challenges are actually evolving, threat spectrum broadened, so as the tactics of the warfare and the war theater as well. So it's not only a conventional or the non-conventional warfare, it's also the non-traditional or traditional warfare, but its proxies, fifth generation, the digital, artificial intelligence, the cyber, hybrid, or so on. So how is Pakistan Navy actually leveraging technology like unmanned aerial vehicles, unmanned ocean vehicles or the water vehicles, robotics, driving innovation to strengthen maritime security cooperation, interoperability with participating navies? How do you see that?
Yes, thank you. Basically, as you already alluded to, that the modern warfare that is transforming very rapidly. This transformation has broken all the barriers, and it's not limited to conventional domains as we had seen war had been. As they say that the dividing line between peace and war is also diminishing. So what to talk of the zones or the domains? The very notion also is mixed up these days. Couple that with what AI can do, it's anybody's guess in a particular scenario. Pakistan Navy in particular is alive to all these challenges and the changes that are taking place. As the old debate says, between the technology and strategy, one follows the other or the other follows the first. That debate continues in the strategic domain amongst all the scholars. But as far as Pakistan is concerned, we are very much alive to all these changes. There have been platform modernizations, and I have first-hand experience of training also. So in terms of training to our officers and men, there have been particular schemes that also adjust all these changes. Plus, as you know that once you have these kind of challenges, there have to be the opportunities as well, and one can leverage those opportunities in best of your interest. So Pakistan Navy, with collaboration of all the regional navies, by highlighting its stature and by showing off what it can, necessarily is capable of managing all these challenges, no matter how the warfare changes, no matter how the technology that drives its warfare also changes. So in my reckoning that we are very much alive to this situation and very well placed to address these challenges. Thank you.
Was the component of AMAN. Then we have obviously the conference and exhibition as well. You have already described that. This time, the first ever AMAN Dialogue included. Why AMAN Dialogue? So number one, what's the significance of it? How many like naval chiefs and the Coast Guard heads and the defense forces chiefs and all others from how many countries are actually participating in it? What's the crux of it? Would this platform act as a dedicated forum for regional security and adopt innovative solutions to have to the evolving challenges at sea? How we can describe in reality that what would be the AMAN Dialogue?
AMAN Dialogue is basically a platform where the practical situations which have been and which are likely to come, in all three domains, they will be debated with the seafarers, head of seafarers. That means the chiefs, that means the chief of the navies, that means the chief of the coast guards and maritime related agencies. So first-hand knowledge plus their experiences will be shared. So that is the reason it is very important that this forum will be a kind of platform where we will have conclusive recommendations. And those recommendations will be translated into actions in terms of policy domain, in terms of emerging technologies, in terms of something which is to be done under the UN Convention on Law of the Sea, even that will be debated upon. And giving you an example, like under UN Convention Law of the Sea, there is a difference of understanding on freedom of navigation. So that is between the East and the West. So that has already been taken up with the United Nations, and we are looking at that this kind of difference of opinions to be patched up. Then comes the technology. You are very aptly highlighted. The technology is coming up very fast. You said about the cyber security. You talked about the AI. Then you have talked about the autonomous vehicles, and that too. Another area is the sea-based data cables. So all these are coming out to be another challenge in which we need technological solutions. We need the policy domain guidelines. So these are the area in which this platform will be a unique platform to give those solutions which are more linked to this area.
Well elaborated. Rear Admiral Fawaz, how the platforms like AMAN are necessary to have secure seas and the safe passages for trade, tourism, exploration, mineral development, and all others, especially when 60 to 63% of the international waters are actually under nobody's jurisdiction. And the enhanced interdependence, the mutual cooperation, and what we call collaborative partnerships are actually inevitable at sea when you have most of the chunk of the oceans are under no jurisdiction.
So I think you've put it in a wonderful way. I said earlier also that seas are the global commons. This is a blessing of Allah Ta'ala for the entire humanity, and we have to work out as a human race collaborative ways in which we can exploit these blessings of Allah Ta'ala. While there has been contention in various elements of maritime law, different interpretations by different nations have led to certain frictions as well. There is a lot of convergence about the threats which are posed in the maritime domain. And I would just put it in a historic context as well. There was an era of Cold War where there was, geopolitics was at the center stage, and it was two blocks, and that prevailed in the maritime domain as well. But since the 90s and with the fall of the Soviet Union, there was a change. And increasingly it was realized that the real challenges facing in the maritime domain are actually more amorphous, they're not very clear, they're not very obvious, and they're so vast in scale that no single nation can actually come up with a solution and tackle those challenges. So we heard about different policies where we talked about cooperative initiatives, and you mentioned some like the Combined Maritime Forces, the CTF 150 and CTF 151, and similarly there are other platforms as well. Most important, I think, is to realize that Indian Ocean has a unique significance in the entire maritime landscape.
Yes.
It is, like you mentioned in your initial remarks as well, it is the the originating point as well as a confluence of the energy highlands of the world. And that significance actually brings in a lot of extra regional forces in this arena. And now when we have extra regional forces, we have regional forces operating in the same area, there's a need to establish a common working ground, a framework, where we agree on the things that we can agree on and operate against the threats which are common to all. So threat like terrorism, threat like piracy, over-exploitation of the sea resources, overfishing, bad practices in fishing, pollution, sea pollution. So these are the kind of challenges that everybody is on board with. And there's a need that when we operate in a common sea area, we have a framework where we all operate for the same end, and our efforts are mutually complementary. And that's where a platform like AMAN becomes very pivotal.
Very important point, very important point. Captain Saghir Sahab, be brief because we have run short of time. So how do you see the AMAN initiative as Pakistan is the member of the Indian Ocean Naval Symposium, IONS, observer in the Western Pacific Naval Symposium, that is WPNS, then but what about Pakistan's membership of the Indian Ocean Rim Association? Despite being a littoral state in the Indian Ocean, would AMAN25 help Pakistan to secure its status in IORA or and Pakistan's maritime diplomacy, which was already very robust across the world? How do you see to have membership in IORA? So because that is very important when it comes to Pakistan's membership. We know that India is time and again blocking that, but what about AMAN initiative? How this AMAN initiative would act as a catalyst to have that membership?
Yeah, thank you. I would like to be brief also, and I will give you two strands in understanding what the problem and where the problem lies. First of all, we have to understand that Indian Ocean Rim Association, which started in 1997 as a bilateral South Africa and Indian initiative, that has turned into a multilateral institute, which can foster the economic cooperation. Now, once you talk of the economics or the trades, then you need certain prerequisites on the political grounds as well. As far as IORA is concerned, perhaps our active efforts for its membership started in 2001 with formal request. Now, your capability or candidacy is one element of getting into this organization, and the candidature and the stature is the second. As far as our candidature is concerned, our maritime footprint, our involvement in maritime zones, different maritime forums, that is phenomenal, and that is way beyond any of the other member states which has the candidacy so far. So not only that there are regional navies that are, or Indian Ocean Rim Association countries that are part of it, but there are extra regional countries also. So once they have got the membership, this beyond any question that Pakistan has much way beyond credentials of the candidacy. But the second strand was that political will is required on the other side also. And to my reckoning,
to get that membership. So thank you very much, Captain Saghir Ahmed Saab, for being with us online. We are really grateful to you, and thank you very much for very candid views as well. Some of the questions, some last questions, and very brief, please. Vice Admiral Ahmed Saeed Saab, how do you see the upcoming presence of lots of rival countries into the AMAN exercise, like United States, China, Iran, Russia, and all others? Do you not think that Pakistan is actually extending a real-time peace platform to interact with each other, to have peace in their countries, and have those rivalries must have to get aside and come up with the cooperation and collaborative peace?
Yeah. As the United Nations Convention on Law of the Sea, the section 11 part 9, it gives the complete setup in which, like Admiral Fawad had said, it is the common heritage of humankind. The oceans have been declared, and then the responsibilities of states have been alluded into.
Definitely.
So within that, it is now the common interest of everybody that the free flow of trade with safe parameters continues at sea. If that be the case, so all the nations' interest is to save the sea, save the trade, save the passage, so provide that umbrella. So for that reason, I am very confident, even though they have divergent political views, but on this particular aspect, they will sit, and they have been sitting on different forums, and this is because being one of the regional forum, so all the problems which are coming up in this region will have to be amicably solved.
Definitely, your point well taken. Father Amin Beg sir, very brief. What AMAN Dialogue is going to offer regarding contemporary challenges and the non-traditional threats with dynamic, innovative and sustainable solutions to the maritime communities, particularly when we are talking about the climate change, the maritime pollution, the ocean warming, the coral bleaching, loss of maritime species, especially when it comes to the fisheries and shrimps and all others, threats to mangroves and the plantation overall, as these threats are actually confronting humanity like an enemy. So how do you see that, what would be the crux of the AMAN Dialogue to offer in this domain particularly?
So this is a very welcome change in AMAN series of exercises and AMAN Dialogue as well, that blue economy has been factored in. So this is something which was perhaps missing in the previous chapters of AMAN. And introduction of blue economy, introduction of leadership who's appraised about the challenges that you mentioned. More importantly, every country, and we have a lot of developed countries participating in AMAN as well, have put in a lot of research and development into various initiatives to counter these challenges which are common to us all. This is a platform where they come out with those outcomes of those research and development and innovative approaches. And this is for the common good of all. So everybody would have an opportunity to actually capitalize on those latest developments, latest approaches to overcoming these challenges to blue economy and the natural resources.
Well said. Some last words, sir.
Yeah, last word is just to compliment him. On the in the United Nations, November 2024, they have adopted certain resolutions in which on the environment they have come up as one terminology, which is blue defense. green defense. So green defense is actually the role of maritime forces to protect the environment, provide environmental security. So they have adopted that. So that is where I think this platform will be very helpful. This is a very new terminology, and we will chalk out certain plans and see its trends, how does it unfold for the naval component.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you very much, Vice Admiral Retired Ahmed Saeed Sahab, for being here. And as National Institute of Maritime Affairs is actually the proponent of this whole AMAN dialogue, and you are actually steering. So wish you all the best for its success. And thank you very much, Rear Admiral Fawad Amin Beg Sahab. Thank you very much for your presence as well, because we have to get a lot regarding the Pakistan Maritime Security Agency and all others which you have commanded earlier. So we will get a lot of that in other programs in future as well. So thank you very much for your presence. And viewers, as you have just listened to our panelists, Captain Sagir was also with us, and rest of the panelists, they all stressed that no doubt about that blue economy is going to change the world. It's going to change the Pakistan's economic discourse overall. And when it comes to the opportunities into the oceans, and there are lots of opportunities there, but lots of challenges as well. It's traditional, it's non-traditional threats. There are lots of conventional, non-conventional, also the regional, extra-regional. So all these threats, all these challenges will only be tackled through collaborative peace, to have cooperation among each other, and particularly the 36 states who are in Indian Ocean, which are sharing their coastlines and the waters as well. So AMAN is going to give the platform to whole of the nations to just get rid of all those differences they have and come up with the peace and stability, because that is the only solution, and that is the only guarantee that we will develop and be prosperous on that approach. African nations are coming up. Bangladesh is participating fully into the AMAN exercise. Then of course Sri Lanka and all other countries, and lots of rivals, China, US, Russia, Iran and all others. So AMAN is extending to all. We are all, whole of the Pakistani nation is extending welcome to all nations who are coming here. And obviously the AMAN dialogue is going to be a real catalyst of change, which gives the actionable recommendations at which most of the nations are going to work on. And we will follow up definitely in the next dialogue as well. Tech, security and all other things, these are along with that, the climate change, environmental protection, how to tackle maritime pollution, and how to save precious resource, particularly the species at sea. And these are obviously very important. Then the exhibition as well. Threats are there, challenges are there, but we have to steadfast. We have to be strengthened at this at our approach. And when Pakistan is extending this peace initiative to whole of the world has to take advantage of it, come up and to have solutions to our problems, and we have to live like a community, the shared community, as our future is shared, and we have to live for the shared future, shared development, shared prosperity, shared peace. This is all the message from Pakistan Navy. This is all from today's Foresight. It's time to sign off. Allah Hafiz.